right, welcome everyone to Growth School. We'll commence in a few seconds. All right, welcome to Growth School. My name is Abiodun Mustapha. I know every time we'll come and proceed on Growth School, it's always a phenomenal moment, a time when we share exceptional knowledge and wisdom that helps you to transform your life and take your life to a great new pedestal. And that's why it's called growth. Why? Because when you grow, you remain at the top, but when you jump, you return back to the ground. So we're intentional about the kinds of knowledge that help you grow, that helps you advance your life, that helps you transform your life and be the best at the things that you choose to do. So Growth School is here again, and I hope you're ready. I hope you've gotten your notepad, you've gotten your pen, and you're set to receive a lot of the amazing and fantastic things that will be shared here tonight. All right. So today we will be looking at, let me just spotlight the topic. Right. Today, hold on a sec. All right. So we'll be looking at the topic navigating the future. Navigating the future. So before we start, please, I want to implore you, do well to share this video with your friends, share on all the groups you belong to, share on all the platforms you can, post on Facebook, and let's invite people to come in here and learn the amazing, exceptional, and exclusive knowledge for those who want to transform their lives and take their lives, their career to a brand new level. Please. Okay, so navigating the future, navigating the future. Now, this week I began sharing something on my WhatsApp status, which is where I will be starting from. And I believe that you would get to learn from it. And it's the concept of currency, the concept of currencies. Now, currencies comes from the word current, okay, which means something is flowing in a certain direction. It's current, it's flowing, it's flowing. Now, people believe that when they talk about currency, currency simply has to do with money as a medium of exchange. But in real context, money is just like the least available currency that you can use to purchase things, purchase items, purchase whatsoever you need. So it means that there is a price required to be able to accomplish something, to be able to purchase something. There's something that gives you a purchase power to be able to possess a particular item. So your purchasing power is revealed by the amount of currency that is available to you. So if you have a lesser currency than the price of an item, it means you cannot get that item except you have what it takes to purchase it. Okay. So currency, when I talk about current, means the medium with which something flows. Now, aside from money, there are other currencies that are available for you to purchase whatsoever you want in life. Whatsoever you want in life, there are a lot of currencies that are available. And I'm going to talk about 5 or 6 of them where I'm going to base this. Because when we're talking about the concept of the future, you need to also carry out transactions to be able to be in that future. You need to carry out transactions that could help you launch into that future and make the things you desire in that future to come to you. So, what are some of these currency? Number one is money. Money, of course, the medium of exchange, currency, the dollar, the pound, the dirham, the yen, the Canadian dollars, the naira, and all. Those are monetary currencies. And there are things that can help you get money. All right. There are things that are also currencies that can help you get money. One of them is So we have money. We have another one called your energy. All right. We have something called your energy. Your energy is also a currency. For example, you see people who in the old time, you remember there was this moment in the old time that for certain people to feed, for certain people to have the means to be able to get food to eat, they need to work, they need to do this labor, a lot of labor, they need to exert lot of energy for them to be able to get means to eat. Some of them may go out to serve as house help, some of them may go as far as giving out their children to go and work, and then they are paid. So it means there is that way in which your energy can actually make you acquire the things that you need. There is this very popular thing with Easterners that I used to know of. So what they do is maybe one of them will come to, that's when I talk about the Easterners, that's the Southeasterners of Nigeria. Most times when you find one who comes to Lagos, maybe one relocated from maybe Enugu or Imo or Anambra or some of those core southeastern areas, and the person relocated to Lagos to come work. Okay, they may start out maybe working, they get little money, they will get a shop. I remember those times in Oshodi and Ladepo, there you will find a lot of those amazing people, and they are really very enterprising. They will come when they make little money, maybe from what they do, maybe they work with for someone or organization. They get little money, they open a shop and they begin to start a trade. Maybe they sell phones or they sell spare parts or they sell clothes or they sell amazing things. And because they have this very powerful entrepreneurial ability by default, you find out that they make a lot of money. Like they do so well at the business, they do well, they make money. They take part of their profit and the main capital. They purchase the item again and they sell. That's why I remember those times when we go to Oshodi, and then when you get to Oshodi, you will see those people going, bro, my brother, you know go buy. This thing cheap now. Sissy now original now quick car. It's cheap, it's cheap, it's cheap. You see them, they'll compare you so much to the point that even things in there's very funny comedy that was said that it's an evil man that will make you buy what you don't need. Like what you don't need, what they will make you buy it. And there was this funny story that there was this comedian that said the neighbor whose name was Femi, he just saw Femi came out from the car, and Femi brought out crutches. And he said he asked Femi, I don't know if the story is true, it's just a comedy. He just asked Femi and said, Femi, what did you do? He said your leg spoil. He said, no, my leg no spoil. He say anything do your leg. He say no. You get person way in leg spoil. I be person do when he say no. He say what you can't do with crutches. And the guy and Femi's answer to him was that now why Igbo boy tell me say make am buy. He say because they do promo so that in case if his leg is going to spoil later, you'll be able to buy. He would have bought the crutches at a discounted price. All right, that's just by the way. So they become very enterprising. They make a lot of sales. They do amazing things. Now, one thing they will do is they will now request that maybe one of their brother or someone related to their lineage or their tribe or someone in the village that they should send the boy to him. And then the young man will come, will work for him, we house him, give him food, do all of that. So work. You know what he's doing? He's trading his energy for livelihood. He's trading his energy to be able to live, to be able to survive, to be able to do a lot of things. So it's very important that it becomes clear that you must take your energy as a means of transaction. And after a period of time, when the guy has served maybe for 5 years, 10 years, for a duration of time, that man who housed the guy and trained him will give him money to go and start his own business. So he gives him money to start his own business because he has gotten some sort of mentorship, and then he can commence his business. But he would not have gotten that if he did not pay with his energy. He didn't pay with his energy. He would have paid with his energy, would have paid with a lot of things. But a lot of times, as humans, it's likely that you may not understand that your energy is a means of transaction. The moment when you stay awake and you begin to do a lot of things at midnight, for certain people, maybe you sit down and you invest your mental energy, you invest your time into saying you're doing things like, oh, you're watching movies that have no value, you're investing in activities that bring no positive value in return, you're exacting energy. And at the end, there will be some sort of transaction. There'll be some sort of transaction going on. I remember those times of MTN, midnight call. You will see a lot of people after they have worked or they have gone to school. Maybe they are already hiring one babe. They have been hiring one babe for a long time and they will just get an MTN number. It's that midnight they will always schedule. They will always schedule that midnight and talk to her and call her. And you see people, a lot of people are awake. But the truth was that many people were unproductive in the real things that will attract to their progress. Why? Because at that time they were not calling to carry out transactions for most people. They were not calling to do things that will bring a lot of value and impact to them, but they were investing their energy in things that were not profitable to their destiny. So it's important to know that as much as you say, oh, I believe in the future, I do all of those things, you must pay attention to where you spend your energy. Because at the end of the day, you'll be purchasing something, whether you are aware or you are not aware at the end of the day. So everywhere you spend your energy to will determine what you get in return. Now, the next currency I want to talk about is time. Is time. Is time. Remember, there was a time when you were very young and you could play around, go around, and they will tell you, you are still young, you are small, let him play. You know, some people say, let him play. He's a young boy, it's their time. Let them enjoy themselves. They don't need to do all those things. Let them do that. And before you know it, 10 years have gone and you have grown old. You have finished GSS, you have finished SS, and now maybe you are at the verge of getting admission in the university, or you are in the university already. And yet you are still believing that you have time. And they're telling you are young. Don't worry, take your time. Just live your life the way you want. Just live your life and enjoy this time. And you just wake up one day and discover that time has gone. So you actually gave out time to be where you are today. And the place you are at, the state you are at right now, is a result of the things you have given your time to. So you traded time to purchase something. There were people who had nothing to do with tech. Many of them, maybe they studied agricultural economics, agricultural extension, maybe some of them chemistry, some of them English, some of them a lot of time. And by the time they graduated with their certificate, they found out that they had a seeming passion for tech, or maybe not passion for tech directly. They had passion for the money that tech was going to provide. And many of them sat down and started building themselves. What were they doing? They were giving time. Some of them necessarily did not pay for courses, but they gave out time to sit down, watch videos for days, practice, develop projects for themselves. In 10, at those instances, some of them even took up jobs, roles in organizations as intern, and they built up themselves to the point where they have started working for international organizations, and they are making lots of money by doing that. What did they trade to get that level of competence? They traded time. For instance, you are writing on Growth School. You're not paying for this webinar. You're not paying money. But what are you paying? You're paying your time. You're paying your attention, which is also your currency, in order to get the kind of life and the kind of future that you want, because you understand that you will get value for it. And this is what I want to say from this. Never believe that because people are not giving you money for what you are delivering, or you say it's a free webinar, or it's just a free thing, free speech I gave on Facebook, or free video you did on TikTok, and you think that it should not be done excellently. The moment you understand that people are giving out something in exchange to be able to consume your value, you begin to treat it differently. So your future will be determined by the way you spend these currencies. Maybe I'll just say one more. You know, I've talked about money. I spoke about energy. I spoke about time. I've spoken about attention. And I'm just going to say one more. There are many others. Name is also a currency. You must understand. Name is also a currency. Let me give you this instance I shared with those who listened on my Facebook, on my, sorry, WhatsApp status. Have you ever found out that there are people that when they send you to, maybe you need an opportunity, or you need maybe a privilege, or you need something, and they tell you, go to that person and tell the person that I sent you. You know, there are people who will tell you that, and when you walk into an organization and you just mention the name of that person, the way they will treat you, like they'll treat you like, how did you know this person? What happened? And they'll treat you like a king. They will give you the privilege, and they will ask you, are you okay? Are you sure it's fine? Are you sure it's this? Why? Because somebody gave you his name to trade with. Someone gave you his name to trade with. And this is the reason why I have stopped expecting that we'll get to a point in this world where the world will be fair to everyone. Stop believing it, all right? It's a peasant thinking to believe there will be a time when the world and the resources will be available equally to everyone. Equality is a myth. I think I did a video on it. I think it should be on my WhatsApp. Or no, sorry, it should be on my YouTube channel. Equality is a myth. There will not be a time on this side, in this side of the world. I don't know, maybe later on, if rapture happens, when we have the millennial rail, there may be equal opportunity. But there will not be a time on earth, in this earth we are on, where everyone will have equal opportunity. There will not be a time where we will all be equal in life. There will always be those who are rich and those who are poor, those who are intelligent and those who are not, those who are smart and those who are not, those who have very high privileges, those who will be leaders and those who will not be. Why? Because not everyone is paying the same price for the kind of life that they desire. There are people who love what the rich have, but they can't pay the price that they are paying. They can put in the sacrifices that they are putting in. Why? Because they believe it's too high for them to pay. So there will not be a time where everyone is going to be equal. You see this equality agenda. Oh, equal, equal, equal. There will not be a time, as long as the earth is concerned, when we will all be equal. Why do you think the university system or the polytechnic system creates something called a first class honor, a second class higher, upper, second class lower, and there are people who will be on third class, and there are people who even graduate with pass? If everyone would make a first class, they would not have segregated the classes of degrees. So there will not be a time where everyone will be equal. The only thing you have to do, your chances. All right. The only thing you have to do is to increase your chances of getting the kind of life that you want. By doing what? By watching where your money goes, where your time goes, where your energy goes, where your attention goes, where your name goes. Where your name goes. So a lot of young people believe, oh, there's nothing. I will enjoy my youth. And then there is one guy that is being so proud and arrogant. And then he's delighted that he's serving lots of ladies breakfast. And you don't know that there will be a reward for the way you have spent your name. Why do you think there are a lot of people who are in the limelight, who are called celebrities? And the things they did when they were very young on campus, or the things they did when they were very young, then begin to come up, and it begins to spoil their name. It begins to soil their name. That's why it's important that you treasure your name. And I love what the Bible says. The Bible says a good name is better than silver and gold. A good name is better than silver and gold. Let me ask you this question, and you must always ask yourself as you go on in life. Can I offer my name to people for them to get certain privileges when they trade with it? Can I give my name to people to get certain privileges that will help them in life? Can I say, go meet that person and tell the person I sent you? And the person will get that privilege, they will honor that person nicely, they will do a lot of things nicely by because that person was sent. Because you sent that person and you gave that person your name. It boils down even to the fact that when people offer you their name to get certain privileges, how did you use it? How did you use it? Did you go there arrogantly? You treated the people unfairly? You did a lot of these things. And by the time someone will have to use your name, they would not treat that person the same way you were treated when someone gave you his or her name to transact with. So it's very important that you pay attention to these currencies. You pay attention to this currency, the currency of money, where you spend it, of attention, of time, of energy, and of your name. Of your name. Of your name. So your future is not built when you get there in 10 years, 5 years, 15 years, 30 years. You are already buying that future with these currencies. With these currencies. Beat after beat, before you know it, you're buying those things. Now to the topic of today, navigating the future despite uncertainties. Now, you must understand that a desirable future is not meant to be pursued. A desirable future is not meant to be pursued. Instead, it's meant to be prepared for and to be positioned for. I'll say it again. The kinds of future you desire will not come to you or will not happen because you pursue them. It will not happen because you pursue them. It will happen because you position correctly for them and you prepare well for them. So future should be positioned for and should be prepared for. Now ask yourself right now, if I tell you, okay, write out the kind of future you want to see or you want to have in the next 5 years. Some people write amazing things. Oh, I want to travel the world. Oh, I want to be the best when it has to do with global days. I want to be the best. And remember those times when they used to do a lot of youth programs and they'll motivate you. Have a goal, have a dream, have a vision. It will change your life. It will transform your life. It will make you great. You'll become this. You'll become that. How many of you were there? Let me see in the comment. How many have been there before when you attend those programs? They'll tell you, oh, vision, power, goals, make it happen, pursue it, do all of this, and do all of this. 15 years after, or maybe 10 years after, are you already in the kind of future you desired? Are you in that future already? By pursuing it, have you gotten it yet? No. That's because such future is not meant to be pursued. It's meant to be prepared for and to be positioned for. And this is the reason why kings don't take decisions rationally. They don't say, oh, our nation is, let me give you an instance. And I'm going to bring you back to how kings won battle in the Bible. Aside from God's intervention, for some people that had certain favor, this is what they usually do. Mostly when kings want to win battle, they picture how they are going to win. They picture how they are going to win. They look at, okay, all right, they picture how they are going to win. They picture how they are going to defeat the armies that they are confronting. They look out for the kinds of armory that the enemy has, all right, that their opponents have. They look at, okay, what do these people have? What are their best tactics? How have they won battle before? And that's the same way lots of coaches win football matches. They make their players sit down and they begin to analyze previous matches that have been played by their next opponent. They begin to watch it out. Okay, this is how these guys play. Okay, this is the two guys that connect together. Oh, this guy always try to come from this wing. Oh, this guy always try to shoot like this. And when this guy wants to pass, he gives a lower pass or he gives an overhead pass. Or this guy always loves to shoot from outside. When the ball is with him, we must always look for a means to block him so that he does not shoot the shot. Maybe I should put this. If you watch the match, I think this was 20. It should be 2008 when Chelsea won the UEFA Champions League with Roberto, I think Roberto Di Matteo that year. If you watch critically, apart from maybe they were lucky they played and it was just like it was their time, you need to go and analyze how they actually carried out the attack. And you find out that there are two goals that made them move to the final actually happened through counter-attack. Why? Because they knew that Barcelona is a team that always loves to move forward. And if they can get someone that can run and that can throw a counter pass, there's a likelihood that they were going to score. And that was how Ramirez made the difference, and Torres also scored. I remember that year. If you see, come and see the shout here and there in the area then. Chelsea, I'm Chelsea, I'm Chelsea. All right. That's the same way Kings usually analyze their opponents. So they analyze their opponents. They don't just say, "Oh, we'll win. We'll do all of this." Just like a lot of people, they will always say, "I declare my future will be bright." And right now we are we are close to the last quarter of the year. Remember what you desired 31st or before the 31st of December last year. Right now, have you achieved those things? Do you have them yet? So it means the future is not just by proclamation, it's also by preparation. It's not just by proclamation, it's also by preparation. There were lots of people who have great aspirations, but they were not ready for it. So the kings will call. All right, welcome back. So they'll call the armies together and they begin to analyze. They begin to look at, okay, we'll get them from here. We are going to go through this route. We'll not go through the normal entry of the gate. We'll go through this small gate. We are going to do this. There was this instance in the Bible when God told Joshua to send two spies to Jericho. All right, two spies to Jericho. What was the plan? They wanted to understand the city. They wanted to understand the entry gate, the approach, all of that, and all of that, and all of this. And then two spies went. And even while they were there, an information already got to I think it was the king or the leaders then that, oh, there are two spies, they are not from their nation, they are this, and that. They were spies, and they reached out to Rahab, who was an harlot at that time. She later became converted, who hid them in the ceiling. She hid them in the roof. They didn't know they came and all of that, and eventually they escaped. So they didn't just say God gave us the promise. They also needed to go and spy the land in preparation to know how they were going to defeat them and create an opportunity for them to proceed in their journey to Canaan. How strategic are you towards your future? How well do you prepare for your future? How educated, how knowledgeable are you about that future? So the reason why a lot of people miss great opportunities that can change their lives is usually because they only desire and aspire that future. They don't prepare for it. They don't prepare for it. They don't create that strategy. You don't say, okay, what's the thing that will work? Okay, if this plan A doesn't work, I think I can switch on to a plan B. I think there could be a plan C. I think these are the network that I need. I think there's a level of time I need to channel to this. I think these are the things that should take 80% of my money, 80% of my time, 80% of my attention, 80% of my energy, 80% of my what? 80% of my name. These are the things I should focus more on to. But people don't seem to analyze that way. What do kings do those times? Let's go back to this story. They will look for their best armies who would confront the king, or who confront the leader of the battle, from the leader of the battle who confront the leader of the battle for the opposing team. They don't just take someone who is just starting newly to go and fight with that person. Why? Because they know that person will be killed easily. And that was why Saul was scared. What happened? They didn't trust him instantly, but they went on. They carried on, and then David eventually. Now, how do you navigate the future? Number one, you need to define that future. Define what that future is. It's it's not wise to always make the statement, oh, when we get to the bridge, you'll cross it. No, define what that bridge is. You need to start by defining the future. Define the future. Define the future. You must get to that point where you define the future. You must be clear about what that future is. Is that future going for global education? Is that future living in a house where you are delighted with your family, you are happy, you're settled, you have a great job? Is that future having an amazing and a fantastic business? Is that future traveling the world to explore opportunities? Is that future investing in different places of the world? You must define that future. Don't say, oh, when we get there, we'll figure it out. When you get to that time, we'll figure it. No, kings don't think that way. Kings are usually prepared. That's why when someone is going to become the leader of a nation, maybe the president or maybe the president or the prime minister, they always have something called a policy document that gives the populace the privilege to measure whether they succeed or they failed. Live your future that way. See your life like a nation that you are a president over, and then you will begin to see how you live your life differently. So you will know, oh, these are the people that should be my ministers. These are the people that should be my special advisors. Why? Because you have a desirable future. You have a future that you want to make a difference with. So you don't just live anyhow, you don't just live carelessly, you follow through on a defined future. So you need to living your life, stop living your life to the changes that will occur, to crisis. You prepare, you position correctly, and then you begin to direct your course on the right path. Why do you need to define your future correctly? There is no time when a mansion is built and it's not first planned. There's no time when a mansion is built and it's not first planned. There's no time when a mansion is built and it's not first planned. And if a one room will be built, maybe they necessarily don't need a plan. But when you have to do it, there is need for a plan. There is need for a plan. So why do you live your life every day just expecting that the future will be bright? You remember this one? Beautiful, colorful, I must get there. I remember secondary school. Beautiful. Is this secondary school or primary school or nursery school? I think it's nursery school. Colorful, I must get there. My future is bright. I must get there. My future is bright. I must get there. But the truth is, without a plan, it won't just happen. Without a plan, it won't just happen. You must define that future. How much is your life worth that you think it does not deserve a plan? How much is your future worth that you think it does not deserve a plan? If you need to build an $100 million mansion, you would sit down and plan it very well. Everything has to be clear, and you will get experts to build it. Why you just allowing different people to advise you in the kind of life that you want. If those who build mansions will not just get a low grade, a low grade bricklayer or a low grade mason to work with them, why? Because of the value of the mansion. Let me ask you, how much is your life worth that you think it does not deserve a plan? So you need to define that future. You need to define that future. It's the first price you have to pay if you need to navigate to the future. You need to define the future. Now, let me take a very practical instance. Imagine you want to go to a place. I'm just saying a place. You want to go to a place, but you don't know that place. There's no way Google Map is going to direct you to the place. So until you know where you are going, you cannot navigate your way through. So the first thing is going to ask you is, where are you going to? You need to put a particular place, and you will not put where you don't know. It's either you know the name of the place, or you know the area, or you know the environment before you can get there. So why are you living your life to chance and expecting that your future will be bright when you don't even know the future? So what is that bright future? What is that future to you? What is that kind of life to you? What exactly do you prospect that you will be at? You know, sometimes even with Google Map, you can easily know, oh, the environment, oh, there's this building there, oh, there's something around it, oh, there's something beside it, oh, there's this and that. But you are going about your life on a daily basis without defining what future you're following. And this is the exact reason why your resources and your currencies are wasting. So this is the reason why you wake up in the morning is to watch a trendy movie. And this is the reason why they can recommend a book to you and then you just read them without knowing what role they are playing in your future. Why? Because the future is not defined. You need to define your future. Define that future. Know exactly where you're going. Don't let people just come to you and tell you this is the new thing happening, and then you just take your money and you put it into it, aspiring that, oh, things will be great, things will be better, the thing will blow, and the things will work. You are putting your money into the things without having an assurance of what it needs to accomplish in your life and in your future. Define that future. There are some of you right now that have no business being in some conferences because they had no value to your future and because you are not clear about your future. Right now, I know there are lots of events, virtual programs, things happening here and here. Sometimes you just need to sit down and say, what future is this bringing me into? Some of you, the programs you should put your mind into is knowing how to even define your future, knowing how to define your destiny, knowing how to define where you are going. And until that is clear, every other thing you do will add no value to you. Some people are making new friends, getting new contacts, but you don't seem to know what role are they playing in your life? What role are they playing in your future? What role are they playing in your destiny? Why? Because you don't know what that future is. What's your future? What's your future? What future do you desire? And you must understand that future is progressive. When you set a mark for this future today, immediately you get there, you should set a new one. And this is the reason why you must create an environment, a system that empowers you to push for more. Maybe the kinds of people you listen to, the kinds of people who counsel you, the kinds of people who you speak to, the kinds of places you go to. Those are the things that begin to match up to the kinds of future you attain. If someone tells me, okay, maybe for example, someone says, okay, I'm going to rent a hotel, and then you are going towards Abulegba, and from Abulegba you are moving towards Tollgate. From Tollgate you are approaching Abeokuta. Tell me how you are actually moving close to Oriental Hotel, because you are moving farther away from that future. So when your future is clear, you will then start defining the path that will lead you there. When your future is clear, you will then know how to navigate your way towards it. So navigating your way to the future starts with number one, defining the future. Defining the future. And when I say defining the future, you must also define what is not the future. You know, a lot of people know what is their goal, but they don't know what is not their goal. So when something comes that looks like their goal, they get distracted and go for it. So, for example, you say, "Oh, I'm looking forward to study in to take a course in one of the best universities in the world." But someone will come to you and say, why not just at least, maybe not really look at that. At least it's still about certificate. Just go on that online platform and take the course. At least certificate is certificate. You're already distracted. You're already distracted. That it looks like the future does not mean it is the future. Some people are choosing right now. You want to take decisions in marriage, and already you know the kinds of life you want. And this guy does not have the attribute to be able to give you that, at least not yet. And you say, hey, maybe, let me just agree, man. Maybe, let's just start and see how it goes. Yet, some people never step into the future because they take the wrong decision. So they chose what looks like the future and not the future. So define that future clearly. Sit down today and ask yourself, write it down. What is my future? What is the future? What is the future? What is that desirable future I want? There used to be this practice. I think I learned this from a book by by Pastor Samadeyemi. There's this book. What's the name of this book now? I want to remember. I can't remember the title now, but boy, it's a powerful book. I think it's either a book or maybe I listened to one of his messages where he said that we need to start creating, like he said this is the way he put it. He said just sit down. I think he was talking about vision. Maybe it's something on vision and all. He said just sit down and write a story of a best time in your life that you want to be into. All right, of a desirable future that you have. Just write a story. Maybe, oh, today I woke up in a beach house and I looked through the glass of the house, and I began to see the work of nature, so desirable and so nice. I looked at how the waters begin to move in an amazing current, and how the breeze begins to blow in. Looking at my wife sleeping on the bed, smiling so nicely and brightly, that we went on this great tour in the land, maybe in a place in maybe the Bahamas or in Cuba or maybe in Spain. And we were so excited and delighted. And we started discussing on how the story all began, on how we lived in a place and we struggled to pay off. And eventually now we are able to travel to different places in the world, inspire people, change their lives, and yet still stay fulfilled. We start working from 9 to 5. Hey, like the way you begin to write it and begin to look at it, looks at the way that it captures your spirit and so greatly, as if you were there already. As if you were there already. Maybe that's what you also want to do. You imagine, you create an imagination, and then you put in your heart, you feel it, you see it, you say it so clearly, you put in your energy into it as though you are in that future. You need, maybe you need a kind of man in your life, or you need a kind of, you want to have a kind of partner, a woman in your life. You begin to figure it out. What's the kind of things? What are the things you would do to make that woman become that thing she wants to become? What are the kinds of provision you will make to make that? You begin to what you internalize it into yourself. And by the time it is internalized, because the future is now clear, you will now see ideas, instructions. things will begin to come that will bring those things in. A friend will just call you and say, "Oh, have you heard about this program?" You will go there, you will meet somebody that maybe eventually it will become the kind of person that you wrote down in your story, and then things begin to move on. Maybe an opportunity kicks in, the money comes in, and things begin to happen. That's how it should be. You internalize that future, internalize the future by creating a story as though it is real. You remember what faith is? Faith is the substance of things hoped for, and by writing the evidence of things that are not seen. The evidence of things that are not seen. Please hold on a sec. Okay, the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things that are not seen. The evidence of things that are not seen. Very important. And until you come to the understanding of these things, you may not achieve so much in life as you should. Please hold on a sec. So the substance of things up for the evidence of things not seen. So you sit down and you create that story. And I think I remember that I sat down and I created a kind of story on a time in my life in the future. I think that was the heading. A time in my life in the future. A time in my life in the future. You just imagine and you begin to create the story. It could be as little, maybe you're a student, you sit down and say, I woke up this morning and just found out that my name came out as one of the first class students. As if that was not enough, I opened my phone and I saw a lot of congratulations coming in, telling me that I was the overall best graduating student. This day was the time of my convocation. And I sat down amidst the crowd, trying to imagine how my speech was going to be, telling the stories of my life on how I struggled and how I was able to overcome the challenges that came. Dot, 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 dot. You know, you just write the story, 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 write the story. It becomes internalized to the point that no one can bring you out of that conviction. No one can bring you out of that conviction. Why? Because that future is defined, very clear. No, no, no errors, no confusion about it, because you defined the future. So number two, so number one, like I mentioned, you define the future, make it very clear, make it very plain, make it very real, make it so real. Number two is you discover yourself for that future. Define the future, discover yourself for the future. When I talk about discovery, what I mean is ask yourself very sincere questions. Like, for example, right now, does it look like I am meant for that future? Right now, do I even have the things that can bring that future to me? You discover yourself for that future. So that when people come and begin to tell you, so now you think, say, your life will feel better like that, or you go out and people begin to look down on you, or people feel like this, you have been so indoctrinated in that future and you just smile about it. So the reason why some people go away from the path they have defined is because they hear certain voices that make them feel less than who they are. So who are you? Who exactly are you? You need to find out. Who are you? Are you a voice? Are you a global agent? Are you one that will transform nation? Are you a leader? You start discovering yourself for that future. You sit down, you conduct a SWOT analysis. What's your strength? What are your weaknesses? What are the threats? What are the opportunities available? You begin to find who you are. And then you start positioning yourself correctly for that future. All right. You begin to measure up what are some of the things that I have right now as I'm walking into that future. What does my social media blueprint say about me? What does my social media blueprint say about me? Can people go online and connect me to that future? Can people go on my social media handle? Can people go on the things I share? Can people listen to the things I say and connect me and say, oh, that guy looks like one who is ready for that future. That guy looks like one who is going there. Listen to me, this is a very important secret you should know. A lot of the great people you look up to, a number of them, in fact, over 90% of them, don't trust you enough, don't trust you enough until they can see that you are moving towards a future that they want to be part of. I'll say that again. A lot of the great people that you are walking up to and you're saying, oh, sir, I want you to mentor me. A lot of the great people that you are walking up to and you're saying, oh, sir, I want you to mentor me. I want you to do this for me. I want you to assist me. I want you to do that. I want you to become that. A lot of them don't trust you until they can see that you are working towards the future that they want to be part of. And this is the reason why you must know who you are. So you must know who you are. Who exactly are you in that future? Who exactly are you? Who are you? Who are you? This has to be clear. This has to be done. This has to be very, very sure. So who are you? Who are you? I happen to know about this platform that helps you with your personality assessment from John Obidi. It's called www.16personalities 16personalities.com. Just go there. Know who you are. Know who you are. Know the kind of person that you are. Then it helps you to start preparing and navigating your way through in that future. Now, number three, finally, is you should develop yourself for that future. That's how you position correctly. And that's how you can begin to get results. That's how you can begin to get results for that future. You start developing skills for that future. So the courses you take will be targeted towards that future you have defined. The places you go will be targeted towards that future you have defined. The partnership you build will be targeted towards that future you have defined. The friends you have, the assets you have will be towards that future you have defined. The courses you take, the books you read will be targeted towards that future you have defined. This is very, very important. So you develop yourself for that future. Develop yourself for that future. Seek opportunities that can help you walk into that future, accomplish that future, and then step into it greatly. Okay, so just a mix of recap. Number one, I said you define the future and the mix of navigating. Number two, you discover yourself for that future. And number three, you develop yourself for that future. So you develop yourself to be courageous. That's why we did a series on courage code, which I would advise if you did not, if you are not there live or you were there live, just go watch the replay again. It steers you up for a great future to do things well. You'll be able to dare things. So you must develop yourself for it. Why? Because there are things in the future you desire that may be scary. There are things in the future you desire that will be scary. And you must be willing to dare things if that future must come. A lot of things will be scary. You want to make a first class, some things will be scary. There are courses you will take, there are lecturers you will meet that will make you feel like, is this still possible to make a first class? You want to start a business. There are people you will meet who will tell you, oh, business is difficult, it's hard. I've been there for a long time. There are policies that may come up, but you must still dare to take decisions. There are times maybe you want to become a best-selling author. And maybe when you started, the things are not right and you are scared. How can I do it? I hope it's not that I'll write a book and people will complain. I hope it's not that, this book will now go out and it's not going to sell. You must be willing to dare things. When you dare things, you make the difference. When you dare things, you make the difference. Only those who can dare things or those who can dare scary things are the people that can make the difference. Those are the people that can make the difference. Those are the people that can make the difference. Very important. David didn't become a very great king. He dared things. He dared Goliath. He dared the situation amidst what Saul did to him. Esther did not just become a queen that was well celebrated. What happened? She dared things. Remember that time when Mordecai came and said, who knows if you're in the kingdom for such a time like this? And she went to the king and said, she was going to meet the king and said, if I perish, let me perish. And that was what made the difference in her story. That was what made the mark in her story. You must be willing to dare things. You must be willing to dare things. So God will not hand over to you things at your level. He would hand over to you things that you have built capacity, okay, to handle. It would hand over to you things you have built the capacity to handle. So that's why you must continue to build, you must continue to learn, you must continue to develop yourself, you must continue to advance, you must continue to grow, you must not remain at any mediocre level. You must reject mediocrity if you want that desirable future. You must hate mediocrity. Hate it. Hate it so well. Hate it with your life. All right. This is very, very, very important. Okay. Very, very important. So I want to see if there are questions. If you have questions, I want to take them right away. I want to take questions. Um, Let me see. So, do you have questions on how you can navigate the future? Ask the questions how you can navigate the future. Let me see your questions. Ask questions on how you can navigate the future. You want to know certain things or their aspects I didn't touch, and you want me to share more on them. Okay, so navigating the future, that's it for this week on Growth School. Let's have another amazing time next week, Wednesday, 9 p.m. West African time, and share on some other deep, insightful things that has to do with your personal growth, your career growth, and advancement in the things that has to do with your life. All right, it's great to be with you tonight, and I hope we can do this again next week. Please do well to subscribe to this YouTube channel if you have not. Also, share this video with your friends. Let them learn, let them be enlightened, and let them get a lot of the things that we have shared tonight. All right? Till I come your way again, keep being phenomenal, keep staying productive, keep being purposeful, and remain profitable. Make the rest of your life the best of your life. Cheers.